Yeah, but you mean to say modern medicine is not good at all?
Said that. I never said that. Modern medical quick fixes are needed for an emergency care, but quick fix only. See, supposing I collapse now here. I can't sit and do yoga and I'll say I'll be all right. Okay? Supposing I fall under a motor car, I can't. You know, I fell under an auto rickshaw the other day. I survived by the skin of my teeth. I thank the auto rickshaw fellow for saving my life. This fellow was dead drunk at 5 o'clock in the evening. I was going for a walk on the footpath. This fellow swerved the rickshaw because he wanted to avoid a bus and came right onto me and hit me. If you look at my leg, you will get shocked. You will not come to Kuwait. But I told Jiten I'm coming, so I came. And this, because see, this is, now I can't say I will do yoga and get it right. No. You have to do something, but I didn't do anything. But what I'm saying is modern medicine has certain role. But the percentage of people who benefit by that is 1% of the sick population. 99% of the sick population do not require modern medicine. It is used for money. I'll give you an example. One example will do. 55 million people in Europe do not go to work in winter because of what's called feverish cold. Simple disease, feverish cold. 55 million. Now these people don't require modern medicine. Do you know what they require? A good dose of ginger, garlic and pepper. And they'll be fine. Next day they can go back to work. What do we do today? We give antibiotics to them. Send them home. If you give antibiotics to a viral disease, your immune system changes and the immune cytokine response becomes Th1 to Th2. And most of the Th2s are either vasoconstrictors or bronchoconstrictors. So by giving antibiotics to a viral disease, we manufacture asthma. Is it good? Or we manufacture a heart attack in elderly people. See? Do you know the amount of people who die of nosocomial infection in the intensive care units? We created that thanks to antibiotics. So what I am trying to tell you is, we have a judicious mix of these things. Simple things can do that. A study in Canada showed when a doctor sees a heart attack in society, he will have seen 36,000 minor illness syndromes. There are 4 minor illness syndromes, which we don't even teach in medical college properly. Common cold, feverish cold, flu-like illness, and then sore throat. Simple things. Now a doctor doesn't know the difference. How many doctors can tell the difference between common cold and feverish cold? How many doctors know that the best treatment for sore throat is hot water? How many of us give antibiotics for a sore throat? This is the problem of modern medicine. I didn't want to go into that because, all that it will be another medical college class. Difficult. But if you are interested, there's a book I have written, What Doctors Don't Get to Study in Medical School. Read that book. This book was so badly condemned when it came out in India. They wrote this is a rubbish book and this fellow is a mad fellow, his English is not good, book is not good, blah, 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 blah. And the book sold, all the copies were sold in 1 week's time, thanks to that review. Then it got published in London. And the British Medical Journal's editor wrote, this is not a textbook as claimed by the author, but certainly in my opinion, this is a holy text of medicine written by a prophet. It is still going on in the 5th edition. And Amazon is making sometimes money. When it's short supply, they say $900 for it. It's 245 rupees in India. It is selling. So these things happen. This is how commercial things. So my son sells that book in America for the same, some $20 or something like that. And through Amazon he sells it.
Is he a doctor?
No. That's the good thing. My doctor daughters don't believe me. He's an engineer like you.
Yes,
sir.
Thank you, doctor.
Doctor, here. Dr. Hegde, thank you very much for your enlightening speech. I would like to ask you about. I'd like to ask you about antidepressants for a long time and their benefits, if any. And I know that you are.
What a beautiful question. What a beautiful question.
Yes.
You couldn't have asked a better question. This is $1 million question.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something. When the mind is not in the brain, how can you treat depression with chemicals? Do you know what happens when you treat depression with chemicals? You become demented. And that's called Alzheimer's disease. One professor of neurology, psychiatry, in New York, this girl wrote a book. Her name is Grace Elizabeth Jackson. What's her name? Write down. Grace Elizabeth Jackson. And the book says, Dementia, a drug-induced crime on mankind. Dementia, a drug-induced crime on mankind. Okay? And this book is selling like hotcakes and she has made millions. But she has been dismissed as a professor of psychiatry in the New York University because of writing that book. Please read Grace Elizabeth Jackson's book and it will tell you it's a very nice book. It goes into the chemistry of it. I mean, when the mind is not there, the best treatment for depression is social support, behavioral therapy, group therapy. Patients come out of it. You know what happens when you take drugs for depression on a long-term basis? The patient commits suicide. One of the side effects of antidepressant drugs is it stimulates the brain to commit suicide. Now most of the crimes, even homicides, are due to taking antidepressant drugs. I won't go further into it. One example is Germanwings plane was taken down by the co-pilot because he was on a heavy dose of antidepressants. I mean, go on and on and on. But that's a beautiful question. As a matter of fact, there is no scientific basis for treating mental illnesses with chemical drugs. For mental illnesses, only psychotherapy. For a mind which is not at ease, another mind at ease must set it in ease. Not a chemical molecule. Yes, sir.
Doctor, most of the people now suffer from the diabetic.
No, that's not a wrong. That's a wrong statement. Incidence of diabetes genuinely has not gone up, but we are creating diabetes. So, for example, in his area, you give that chemical for depression. What is that called? Thallium. Huh? Produces diabetes. Our friend takes statin. 40% of statin taking patients become diabetics in 1 year. So are we not manufacturing a lot of diabetes? I mean, of course, we are producing obesity, which is one of the important causes of diabetes. Obesity is very rampant in the West. Even in this country, I see almost every other person is obese.
If at all the person already got diabetic, what is the solution? Without medicine, whether they can cure? That is
very good question. Very good question. As a matter of fact, if you can control your diabetes without medicine, you will live 10 years longer than a non-diabetic. Did you know that? There's a study, beautiful study, Indian study, which shows that if you control your diabetes without drugs, diabetes can be easily controlled without drugs. Diet and exercise. Diet and exercise. 1 hour walking, 350 calories gone. 350 calories is 7 idlis. 1 idli is 50 calories, 7 idlis is 350 calories. So you walk one day, one hour, so 350 calories gone. It's like, bank balance. You put more money, put less money inside and spend more money, there's less balance. Are you an economist? You're a doctor? Chartered accountant. See, that's why I said that. How did I know you're a chartered accountant? You put less money in the bank, spend more money. So balance is less, isn't it? See, chartered accountant, bright chartered accountant. See, how did I know? Good man. Walk, walk, walk.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
And relax, relax, relax. More tension, you want this, you want that. Chartered accountant, then, especially if you're a chartered accountant accounting the Ravana account, then your blood pressure, blood sugar will go up.
Hello, sir. Here.
Yes, young lady. Huh?
What about hyperlipidemia? What is the treatment you would suggest?
Amma, there isn't anything called hyperlipidemia. The more lipid in the body, the better for you. You live longer. We created a myth called fat is bad for the heart. There isn't any basis for that. Now Americans are saying we are sorry for doing that. Now you want USDA has put a 553-page document saying that Americans should eat more fat. They should at least have 2 eggs a day. And they should have more eggs and more green butter and more ghee and things like that. Who is this hyperlipidemia, the disease? It's a commercial disease. Why should you believe fat is bad? If you know, if you go back, it all started with the first study called Ansel case study. This man was given $100 million to study relation between fat and heart because already companies had drugs to lower fat. So this man created a study. He studied 22 countries and found there is no relationship at all. He can't write a no relationship having taken so much money. So he made a paper by eliminating country by country by country without telling any people how many countries he studied. He studied 22 countries, presented 6 countries and had some sort of a relationship. But there was this professor called John Yudkin in London in the 50s who had found out fat is very good for health and what was bad was sugar. So he wrote a book for you. You read that. You're an engineer, no? It's called Pure, White and Deadly. Have you seen that book? Pure, White and Deadly, John Yudkin. Now they demonized that man. They dismissed him, a professor of nutrition at London University. They removed his degree and they put him out to the GMC. And the poor fellow had to teach music to survive. And he has died. Now they say, oh yes, sugar lobby did this. And now it is found out, for your information's sake as an engineer, the sugar lobby paid 3 Harvard scientists $50 million to create the fat myth. But luckily, all those 3 are dead now, so they can't be prosecuted. You understand now? Now why do you believe that? So don't believe anything. Go into it. Don't you believe anything. Don't believe what I say. Find out for yourself. Don't believe what I say about bypass surgery. Go and find out yourself. Then you know.